If you place a bucket of ice inside a room, the ice absorbs a significant amount of heat as it melts, which lowers the room's temperature. This is the basic principle behind how air conditioning cools. However, this process is very slow. So, you use a fan to blow air over the ice, which makes it melt faster and cools the room more quickly. But with this method, you have to keep replacing the ice, which is quite a hassle. That's when you start thinking a bit more smartly. Consider using Freon instead of ice. At normal temperature and pressure, Freon is a gas, but if it is stored in a high-pressure tank, it turns into a liquid. To operate this system, you build a completely closed copper pipe system and fill it with Freon. When the system is turned on, liquid Freon reaches the indoor pipe, where the drop in pressure causes it to turn into gas. During this process, it absorbs a significant amount of heat, which cools the room. Afterward, this gaseous Freon travels outside through the pipes. Now, the question arises, how can we reuse it? To do this, you install a compressor in the pipe. When Freon gas passes through this, it is subjected to high pressure and its temperature rises to about 80 degrees Celsius. Now, to cool it down, you install a coil and a fan on the outside, which is called a condenser. As the hot gas passes through this coil, it releases its heat and gradually turns back into a liquid. However, at this stage, its temperature is still too high, which is not ideal for cooling. That is why you install an expansion valve in the inner pipe. When high-pressure liquid Freon passes through this valve, its pressure drops suddenly and the temperature falls rapidly. Then, this cold Freon returns to the initial pipe to repeat the entire cycle. To cool the room quickly, you also install a fan inside that circulates the cold air throughout the room. You can also place a temperature sensor near the expansion valve to precisely control the temperature. And if you split this entire system into two parts, one inside and one outside, then congratulations. So you have built an air conditioning unit.